Hey, the truth is, sales prospecting is not easy. You have a lot of challenges. But one thing in particular that I'm seeing that's working right now, and it's something I've spoken about before, and it continues to work, especially in 2025, well, it's the phone. Now, here's the reason why I feel so strongly about this. Check it out. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist Podcast. I'm your host, Donald C. Kelly, the Sales Evangelist. And I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And on this episode, I'm going to talk to you about the phone and why I feel so strongly about the phone. And I spoke about this not too long ago in one of the episodes, but I feel that it's important to come back with some insight, further things that I've gathered on why I feel the phone is so helpful right now in B2B sales. If this is your first time listening to our podcast, I want to thank you for supporting the show. Please subscribe, and we'll make sure to notify you every time we drop a new piece of episode. In addition to that, I would love for you to take the episode if you find it beneficial and share it with one of your friends or teammates that could get some improvements on their phone cold calling skills. So here's what I would tell you, why I feel so strongly about the phone. Number one, I work with a lot of organizations. One of the organizations, you might look at one organization, you might say, well, that's just one off. But if you see it in multiple organizations, 2, 3, 4, if you see the same pattern, you know something is different. And I work with sales reps when they join our program, whether it's our sales mastermind or one of our sales training program. The thing that I find is that all of these salespeople are looking for ways to be able to improve their game. And when you have conversations with them, you're finding out what's working, what's getting them, landing them appointments. And I'm not coming back to you and telling you this overwhelmingly. There's only one thing that's working, but I'm going to give you some reasons. And so I probably should clarify on that. I do believe the phone is having more success than it has in the past recent years. And I'll give you the reasons why behind that. And then I'll tell you that I think you should be doing all the channels, just to be clear, because we have episodes on those as well. But the first piece that I want to dive into is the fact that I feel like, and I've shared this, and I feel like maybe like a broken record saying it over and over again, is the simple fact that post-pandemic, many of us, like just absolutely many of us, just got burnt out from just the online world, the online life. And there's something about the human to human connection when I can talk to somebody else. And I don't care what demographic it is. If it's like a boomer to a Gen Z to a millennial to a Gen X, or like, people are more appreciative to have conversations on the phone, and to have that human to human connection. Now, who they're having a conversation with matters, but I feel that part, and something I've seen to be totally true, where we just are, I think people are calling it like digital fatigue, but you just want to be able to have human to human relations. That's why we see, especially in conferences, there's an uptick with that. And because, I don't know, like most of the emails and most of the messages that we get, it feels overly fake. It feels like, and there's a reason for this too. You see this when it comes to, for the sake of efficiency, we're sending out more messages. Again, that's not efficiency isn't a problem. So please don't get me wrong. But for the sake of efficiency, we're sending out a bunch of messages. The messages aren't truly authentic, but we feel that we just need to be as efficient as possible, so we send them out. Can you send out efficient message can you send out messages efficiently that actually has some weight to it, some personal level? Absolutely. And I think that's I know that's true. We're not going to tackle that particularly on this episode. And this is why you can use different tools that can help you with that. But the piece, though, that I come back to is that because of efficiency, we want to be efficient. We're sending out mass numbers of those, and obviously because of AI, we have ability to be able to do this even easier, where it can get our messages written for us. So the messages sound dumb, and then we're sending out hundreds or thousands of them, and they're landing in people's inboxes, and they're seeing this, and they all start off with the same silly stuff like, hey, hope this message finds you well. Again, remnants of the pandemic. And all of this just makes the buyer or potential buyers feel that you are, and all of us in the category, are not genuine, and therefore this is garbage. So they're now turned off even more so when they see the emails. And it's just this burnout of this digital fatigue. However, when they have conversations with another human, like I found when I catch somebody on the phone, even if they didn't necessarily want to talk, but I catch them on the phone, we have a human dialogue and a interaction, and it makes such a big difference. And that brings me to my second point. Like I feel it's much faster to be able to build a genuine rapport with somebody when you have them on a phone call, when you have them, when you're talking to them. And I'll give you an example. Recently I sent out a cold email to a prospect, and it wasn't it wasn't an email at scale, ultra personalized, which again another episode. But I ultra personalized this episode, this email to this prospect. She opened it and responded. So the thing is, it prepared the ground. Now when we did have the phone call, it made it even more effective, because that phone call we had a lot to build some commonality on, and that was able to help us to further the opportunity and schedule an appointment, and life went on. Even in the message that I sent to her, and I'll share with you, I sent an ultra personalized message, and I even sent her some links to schedule an appointment with me after she had responded to the email. And she didn't click on those links, and I was like, what's the world going on?" And it felt like the deal, this opportunity, was going south when she was interested. The first reply said, "Yes, give me a call," and want to schedule something or whatever. I want to give me a call. But I then we exchanged a couple of emails, and it was a link to give her some times and to click on the link. And long story short, she didn't want to click on that. She didn't want to do any of those things. I even sent her a video and a text message. She didn't want to do that. She wanted to have the conversation, and it was crazy. So we got on the phone and we spoke. And she said, "Yeah, I just sometimes don't trust some of those links or whatnot." And this goes back to the first point, where I think it's a digital fatigue, a little burnout, and also just the fact that there's so many shady things that are going on. But the genuine connection, when she's talking to you or talking to me in that case, she felt that it was actually the real human she was talking to, and she was interacting with someone that really understood her business. And it's fascinating that all of that came from it. But the points, let's break this thing down again. The email went beforehand and broke the ground, got her attention. She didn't want to have the engagement there. She wanted to have the engagement on a phone call. She didn't want to click on links to book it. She wanted to make sure first to have the phone call. And this lady isn't like grandma. She's actually in a millennial age. So it's fascinating. So the point I'm trying to get back at, if we can have ways to get more phone calls, more engaging conversation, you're going to have a higher chance of success because of that, and you build rapport better. And when I was talking to her, I was able to quickly build rapport because I was able to explain the issue that I clearly found with her business and gave her some amazing feedback on it, and we had a good conversation. Next thing I want to tell you about is, I feel like the gatekeeper barrier, I just don't think that's as big anymore. If you're getting struck by a gatekeeper, I can see in some cases, but for the most part, we're getting direct dials. Again, post-pandemic world where most of the employees, their direct dials or their mobile numbers are being presented or public, or out there somehow. We have tools to get that. So I think that piece is a benefit, and I'm not seeing that the holdup with the gatekeeper. And here's the other part with that: when you do make a phone call with a to a prospect, sometimes not everybody answers their phone from somebody they don't know, but for most part, people are answering their phone. And because you can have a quick rapport building, even if they're not necessarily available to talk, but you can have a quick rapport building. I'm talking about in seconds. For instance, maybe it's like the interaction you had on LinkedIn, or perhaps something you saw with their organization, or something that they did. It automatically, what we call in our company, POR, a point of reference. Because of that point of reference and building rapport really quickly, it just makes it very easy that they're willing to listen to you longer. And especially if you have a relevant problem, it makes it even better that they're willing to listen to you. They may not be able to sit down and have the full conversation there, but they'll set something up. But the direct dial, you have a much better chance of success than calling the office. What do you call those round robin stuff? What do you call it? The tree? Yeah, the I can't even think. It's too early in the morning right now. But you know what I taught you go if you call into the automated message and try to click one and get to that person, it's just not working as well for the past 5 years. So I'm a firm believer in this. I don't think it's worked for a long time that you go to that direct dial. That's another component that I think is working. And here's the third kicker that I think also makes it work. The phone, the case of the phone, is the simple fact that you can do it a lot more at bats. So you might say, well, Donald, I make a lot of phone calls and I'm not getting access to people. Well, they have technology now from tools, and I'm not getting benefit from any of these companies. But, like we use JustCall internally, and they have auto dialer, and you have many of these auto dialers that are out there. They are helpful because now you don't have to sit there and dial for 6,000 different numbers. But what's helpful for it is that you can just make a lot more calls, and you're not spamming people. They're just probably not answering. So you're making more dials. And I want to clarify too, I'm not talking about those direct dials, the auto dialers that you have, like you hear the click. I hang up on those, and I answer cold calls, but I hang up on the ones that are, you're sitting there waiting because they have 6 people that they're calling at the same time. I'm just talking about a straight auto dialer. It's just dialing one number at a time. But that's helpful. So you don't have to actually do it in perpetuity as a seller. But that's, I think, also, again, to go back, it's giving you more at bats. So the sellers that I'm working with and the things that I'm seeing them that's happening with these teams that I work with, or the individuals that I work with, is the fact that they're just having better success at cold call with these factors that I just shared. And also, when if they're able to prep like I did in mine, prepare the buyer before the prospect beforehand, we're seeing even better success. And that's where LinkedIn comes in, where you're engaging at scale. And the way I engage at scale on LinkedIn, I take a list of people in Navigator, and I find the people who have I've always gone to bat with this one, and I will keep saying it, is I look at people who are new to their roles, and I look at people who have job changes in my industry, especially those who are VPs of sales or sales manager. I go to I send out an email to those individuals, or LinkedIn connection request, and engage with them. And then from there, we do emails and phone on the back end. And the same thing with our company, our production company, Blue Mango, as well. We find that people who are new to their role are more likely to be able to have engage at least in some changes. And then, especially if they're posting on LinkedIn. So I have 2 areas where I can use for engagements to get my pour, and then my emails and my phone calls afterwards on the back end makes it so much better to be able to connect with these individuals. Some of the clients that I'm seeing success from, their sales reps are having more of the success from the phone calls. And I'm just telling you, it's just straight up. The more shots you take on goal, the more chance you have of scoring. Calling the right people in right volume and sequence is going to help. Now, what's that volume? I'm seeing people have success when they're making anywhere from those 50 to 100 dials a day, but you can get up to that 40 to 50 dials, and you're going to find you have conversations, you're going to get connect, and you're going to get opportunities for appointment if you have relevant topics to focus on. So I would love to hear your opinions on this. Go ahead and drop me a message on LinkedIn. Let me know if this is something that you find beneficial. And if you want to practice your pitch, you can go ahead and connect with me. We have a mastermind where sales reps are able to practice and get help and guidance and coaching. So find the more information, go to thesalesevangelist.com. Actually, just email me, Donald@thesalesevangelist.com, Donald@thesalesevangelist.com, and just tell me you want to practice, and I'll tell you about our mastermind. I look forward to hearing from you. As always, I want you to thrive. I want you to succeed. I want you to connect with more people. I want you to have more conversation. I want you to raise your level of thinking, but most importantly, I want you to go out and do big things. See you on the next one.